Hi guys, it's Ross, hope you're having a great day. I wanted to do a job today talking about a little dilemma I'm having. Now the problem is, I have got a month to decide what I'm going to do when I leave school in Easter. I can either go and get an apprenticeship, I can stay on at school to sixth form, or I can go to college. Now there's lots of different, now let me just explain sort of the different options. Now the problem is, sixth form is still school, is doing the exact same thing I am now, exact same hours, 5 days a week, same teachers, same subjects. I couldn't manage that. The other option is an apprenticeship. Now apprenticeships are all fine and well, but the problem with an apprenticeship is that there are not many of them out there. At the moment, although the government keep putting out lots and lots of speeches saying we want to give more apprenticeship jobs to young people, they're just not interested in it because they see it as taking. They're not interested in it. Companies aren't interested in it because they see it as taking jobs away from people who have got families that need to be in work. So they're not interested. So that leaves college as an option. Now that just means what to do for college. Now for a long time I wanted to do engineering. Now it's what my dad does. I'm very good at engineering. I'm the first person in my year to have completed my engineering course. I've completed it already a year early. But the problem is, engineering, realistically, when I leave school, I'm going to be 16. I'm going to be working till I'm mid-60s to 70s, probably 70s, because they're going to raise the retirement age. So that's over 50 years of work, and to do engineering for that long, being inside the majority of the time in a factory or whatever, it's not for me. I'm an outside type of person. So I go for an engineering apprenticeship. Most of them are up on the very outskirts of London, sort of industrial area of London. On the outskirts, sort of Belvedere sort of area. Now, not only am I competing with the 1,000 odd people my age in Gravesend, which is the town I live in, not only am I competing with 1,000 people of my age that live in my town, which there is, I've googled it and I found it all out. There's 1,000 people in the exact same year as me, just in the town of 55,000 people I live in. Let alone all the sort of years in the bracket around me, so sort of 3 years plus, 4 years plus, that are going to be looking for the same sort of apprenticeships. But then you've got everyone in the surrounding towns as well. You've got everyone in London. 2 million, 3 million odd people live in London. I mean, and you're all competing for very, very few. There are very, very few apprenticeships out there at the moment. So then I sort of looked at plumbing, and now the problem with plumbing is I could see it getting boring. It's literally pipe, joint, solder. I could see it getting boring, especially doing that for 50, 60 years, literally just joining pipes together. Now, I was speaking to a good friend a few weeks ago now, and he was talking about tree surgery. And as soon as he said it, it sort of hit a nerve. It seems a great idea. Loads and loads of reasons. Number one, you go out, you're spending all your time outside, you're going outside, you're sort of connecting with nature on a daily basis as your job. There's always going to be trees. I mean, in times of like economic hardship and recession or whatever, you've got people, like engineering jobs. Factories close down, engineers lose jobs. Plumbing, less houses are built, less plumbers are needed. Trees always grow. It doesn't matter what the economic climate is, how many jobs there are out there. Trees are always going to grow, and if trees are always going to grow, trees are always going to need to be cut down. It's the simplest way you can put it. So that means tree surgery would be a great idea, I feel, for me. Now let me just get some notes. Now I was talking to a teacher about this, and he told me about a college called Hadlow College, which apparently is the best agricultural college in the country. And it's not far from my house either. It's about half an hour drive. And I could do it being under 18. I can do a college course for free, and they do a tree surgery and arbitrary course, which is all to do. Arbitrary is plant science, planting trees, different types of soil structure, drainage of soil, all that sort of stuff for trees, tree diseases, pest management, all that sort of stuff. So it sounds like an ideal job for me. The only problem is the pay. Now, being a engineer, including overtime, I can easily go out and I could earn £55,000 a year. Now, that's not obviously straight away. That's as I'm sort of been doing it for a few years. I'm a bit more experienced. £55,000 a year. That's what my dad's getting, including overtime. Because he's an engineer. He works in a power station. He works in a power station fixing the turbines and the generators and the pumps and the machines. That is his job. But to make £55,000 a year, he's having to do loads and loads of overtime. Now, tree surgery, the average tree surgeon is paid about £30,000 a year, which is a lot less. And that's the only dilemma I've got at the moment, is whether to go for a job that I will definitely be happy in, and is the ideal job for me, but doesn't pay as much as I could possibly be earning, or to get a job that will be paying lots and lots of money so I could afford anything, virtually anything I wanted, or as I see, everything I wanted, or I want. It means I could go, if I'm earning £55,000 a year, I can go on holiday 2-3 times a year, I can go skiing, I can live in a very nice house, I can have all the camera equipment I want virtually, and still have money left over to pay the bills. Now, that would be excellent, but I can't see myself doing engineering for 55 years. So this leaves me with a bit of a dilemma, really. I'm trying to sort of figure my way through deciding what I'm going to do. Also, an idea that I've came up with, which is going to sound a bit strange, and I'm not too keen on it myself. It sounds a good idea. It's the problem with, like I said, with engineering, is being inside. But I came up with this idea last night that if I were to join the Navy, the Royal Navy, I could be an engineer on one of the ships, get an apprenticeship at 16, travel the world, see different parts of the world, which I'd like to do, and I'm not trapped inside all the time, and get paid more money than I would, or the same amount of money as I would, doing it in a sort of normal civilian manner. The only problem is you wouldn't be able to do overtime, so it wouldn't be as much. It'd be 30 to 40,000 a year. So that leaves me with a bit of a dilemma, but I don't think that's a good idea. Another idea that I came up with last night, and it's clear, is to make this clear, you've got to know what I was watching last night. I was watching Top Gun, and I've always wanted to get a pilot's licence, but it's ridiculous money to get a complete pilot's licence and then to run a plane. So I thought, ooh, why don't I become a pilot and fly fighter jets? That would be quite cool. And then it got me thinking, well, if you want to become an astronaut, you start being flying fighter jets. But anyway, that's a bit silly. But then I sort of read up on it a bit, just sort of to amuse myself. And I became ever more enchanted with the idea. The only problem is it's obviously hard to become a fighter pilot. But there's lots of jobs, because not many people want to become fighter pilots, but to get through the selection process is incredibly hard. It's incredibly gruelling training. It's very gruelling training. Gruelling? Is that even a word? Gruelling. Very hard training. But yeah, wouldn't that be an awesome job? Because I was watching it and I thought, wow, that must be the most amazing job ever. And I thought, but actually, why can't I do that? But so let's leave that there. I'm probably not going to become a fighter pilot. The only thing I did think is I looked at it on the internet, and you can't be a fighter pilot or train to be a fighter pilot after the age of 25. and I don't like being told I can't do things. So that's getting me worried that if I ever did want to be a fighter pilot, say when I was 26, I wouldn't be able to, which really annoys me that I wouldn't be able to. It's closing up my options, and I know that once I've got past that age, I can never ever do that. Another thing that I was thinking of doing was stock trading. My uncle is a stockbroker, so I'd be able to do that, but that still doesn't solve the problem that I've still got to stay in full-time education for 2 years, unless I move to Australia, which isn't a practical thing. I wouldn't particularly like to live in Australia. They don't do stock brokerage apprenticeships in any form, or college courses or anything. Ideally, for that sort of job, you want to be working for yourself. But that still doesn't solve the problem. I've got to do something for 2 years, and for 2 years, what I do is, if all this other stuff that I'd love to do doesn't work out, stock trading, setting my own business, whatever it is, I have got to fall back on that, and I've got, no matter what, I've realistically got to face the possibility that I could be doing this, whatever I choose to do, an apprenticeship or a college course in, I could realistically be doing that for the next 60 years of my life. So, I'm going to leave it at that. We are now at 22 minutes, unless I broke this up into 2 videos. If you've got this far, I'll be absolutely amazed. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.